What do you think is in Colombia, a country in South America with its capital Bogotá and a total population of 51.87 million people? Maybe you don't know that Colombia speaks Spanish. There is a large-scale and very crowded horse parade where the characters are hot girls riding horses. Hammocks in a unique location can take themselves straight to death, only in Colombia. And do you believe that this country has 1,000 days of Tet in 1 year? All the best and most interesting discoveries have been brought here by the Top 10 Mysteries. Enjoy every moment with the video 8 Strange Things in Colombia. The largest horse parade with beautiful girls. One of the world's largest horse parades is located in the city of Buga, Colombia. The event is usually celebrated on the holiday of Nossa Senhora de Buga, an important Catholic holiday in the country. With the presence of hundreds, thousands of horses are brilliantly equipped, from the armor to every delicate decorative detail. Whether or not the horse racing skill is noticed or not is up to the rider. Beautiful girls wearing hot or traditional outfits, wherever they go, men look up and follow them. Don't be surprised when you see that riding a horse does need to be so beautiful, because women are a valuable asset of this country, always in the top of Miss World. Beautiful, anytime and anywhere. The body is full of vitality, plump butt, the skin is shiny brown, the face is charming with deep eyes, the lips are plump, and the legs are long and straight. In addition, there is a flower parade horse festival in Medellin, Colombia, with more than 7,000 wreath-wearing horses spilling out into the streets, waiting for the event to begin. Most of the riders drink distilled wine called aguardiente in leather vases shaped like boots. In the end, the event was controversial and cancelled because of animal cruelty. The horses have to travel long distances by truck and trailer to reach Medellin, and then have to spend the day standing and dancing on the hot sidewalks. In addition, many inexperienced riders kick and jerk horses unnecessarily. So, the festival was cancelled without any hesitation. Next is the most bestialized type of relationship in the world. Everyone is vehemently opposed. Strange custom of falling in love with donkey. Sex with donkeys, have you ever heard of it? The bizarre incident occurred in the suburb of Tierra Baja in the city of Cartagena next to the Caribbean coast. Here, farmers still increase their income by allowing locals, especially young people of puberty age, to sex with their donkeys.
Brother,
This is a long-standing practice in Colombia, a traditional culture that they say is not harmful. Most men in Cartagena have sex for the first time with a donkey instead of with a hot woman. People said that this is a way to replace having sex with themselves alone in men, limiting same-sex sexual behavior, and at the same time is also the beginning of adulthood for young people, aged 11 and 17. According to them, this method also helps to increase the strength and length of the penis. Another secret is that condoms will not be used when they having sex with donkeys, because the rubber material will hurt donkeys. Young men only stop this type of species-defying relationship when they have a girlfriend or get married. After the rumor spread, activists from the Royal Society for the Protection of Animals firmly opposed it because they considered it an act of bestiality, a crime, and demanded them respect for animals. Even the movie called Donkey Love was born to win 3 awards in a row when telling about this strange love custom. Equally strange is a woman living in the city of Barranquilla, Colombia, who has a far-reaching scandal when she publicly dates 7 old men at the same time. The 7 people are all responsible for covering Lena's living expenses and helping her with household chores such as cleaning, laundry, and cooking. At the same time, these old men also compete with each other to see who gets more of Lena's affection. The story received many mixed reactions. Some people think that she should be imprisoned for taking advantage of the elderly. Others expressed admiration for Lena's wisdom and congratulated her on finding an easy way to stabilize her finances. Through this, what do you feel about this story of love and non-racial relationships and age? Please leave your feelings for everyone to know. If there are up to 1,000 Tet days in 1 year, let the latter help you understand that feeling. The country has 1,000 days of Tet. If normally a country has only one Tet day as the biggest holiday, Colombia excels when there are more than 1,000 national Tet holidays in a year, which means that on average there are nearly 3 Tet holidays per day. The Tet holidays are divided into small groups such as the Tet of the god of agriculture, religious Tet of each ethnic group, Tet of male and female beauty contests, Tet of coffee harvest, in which the agricultural New Year, which was formed over 100 years ago, is a typical Tet, also known as the Frenzy Tet, the largest national Tet of this country, the most characteristic of the Colombian people. The National Regulation Day is from January 5th to January 7th. During those days, all men and women of all ethnicities and localities in the country dress very beautifully, then pull each other out to sing and dance. They mix black and white powder pots and throw them on passers-by. Then, at the end of the day, they go to the river to bathe and return home. The reason for the creation of many Tet days, you probably think they are idle. But no, that's because the country is multi-ethnic. Mestizos were the largest at 58%, followed by whites at 20%, followed by mulatto, white and black hybrids, at 14%, and less ratio by Negroes, 4%, Negroes and indigenous hybrids, 3%, and Indians, 1%. The government respects the right to freedom of belief and identity of each ethnic group, so it allows them to organize themselves as they wish. In addition to owning the largest number of Tet days in the world, Colombians also have the custom of burning the old year. Everyone in the family makes a very large mannequin called Año Viejos, old years, and stuffs unnecessary things inside, especially things that can remind of sad memories. Then everything will be burned on New Year's Eve to shake off the unhappy things of the past year and welcome the new year with optimism. Colombians also cook rice mixed with lentils to eat on New Year's Eve. They put their hopes in a full year and a good harvest, and the special bread contains a coin inside. After baking, the head of the family will cut the loaf of bread at midnight and distribute it to everyone. It is thought that whoever receives the share of bread with a coin will be the lucky one for the whole year. Lying in a hammock will shorten the path to death because the position of the hammock is quite unique, which is the following hammock. Panic when lying in a hammock in the middle of a cliff. To introduce to you a thrilling super product is the experience of lying on a hammock suspended in the middle of the Colombian cliff at La Casa en el Aire Hotel, about 30 meters above the ground. I mentioned in advance that if you have sleepwalking, itching, or fear of heights, don't be foolish to swing on this unstable hammock. If you still insist on experiencing it, you have to take a 3-hour bus ride from Medellin and slide over the 400-meter swing. It will then pass through a suspension bridge along the cliff face secured by specialized cables before arriving at the wooden house attached to the cliff. After that, swing on the cable attached to the rope to the section where the hammock is installed and sit up. People lie in hammocks to sleep, but sleeping in this hammock is very easy to die. Besides, guests can participate in many thrilling activities, such as bungee jumping from a height of 40 meters, hiking and climbing down the 550-meter high vertical wall, and sleeping in a wooden cabin suspended by a giant rock. I find it very fun. I let you play first. After lying in this hammock, Go into the following house. Fully enjoy the feeling of dizziness, friends. Dizziness in the upside-down house. Despite being said to be crazy to build a house upside down, and the end is that now the man is just sitting and counting money. In Guatavita, near the capital Bogotá, Colombia, there exists an upside-down two-story house called Casa Loca, created by Austrian architect Fritz Schall at the height of COVID-19. When entering the house, you feel like they are walking on the ceiling. Their hair stands up to the sky. The whole person seems to be hanging in the air, and below them are the furniture. Every day, this place welcomes hundreds to thousands of visitors, bringing a large profit to Mr. Fritz Schall. You can have a photo with 1 million likes when taken at this house. In addition to Colombia, Vietnam also has many upside-down houses. The 5-room house with 2 tones of yellow and black is the main one in Dong Thap. Vietnam started construction in 2019. Or a 3-story building with 2 spaces to visit and a cafe in Vung Tau. A more colorful color is the 10-room upside-down house in Da Nang, Vietnam. Many people can no longer distinguish between the floor and the ceiling, looking at everything contrary to nature, floating like zero-gravity space. Going into the house, everyone has to be scared and confused when they see that the washing machine refrigerator is so heavy but hangs upside down. Just pray that it does not fall on themselves. However, you have nothing to worry about because the utensils have been fastened with special nails, screws and glue. Next is the slot for the strangest village, where drugs are used as currency. The strangest village. One famous place where people use cocaine as a currency and as a tool at the casino. The remote, unnamed village in the Andes, with a population of less than 200 people, is the terror of the whole world. One villager asked, "Last month, I owed the grocery store owner the money to drink beer. Please tell me how I have to pay the debt." The shopkeeper said, "The total amount is 27,000 pesos, but you can pay with 10.8 grams of cocaine. That's 2,500 pesos per gram, which is about 0.87 per gram. That's how people living in this area use cocaine instead of cash." Obviously, they all know that the production of drugs is illegal, but this unnamed village has no electricity and clean water supply network, and it is difficult to do anything. The source of life here mainly depends on the illegal cocaine processing farm, which can produce more than 100 kilo of banned substances per month, bringing in up to $3 million in revenue. So Colombia is also one of the leading countries in drug production. And I also reveal to you that if you come to this country, don't be stupid to mention the name Pablo Escobar. He is a tyrant and one of the most notorious killers in Colombia's history. This country has gone through a lot of suffering, and no one wants to hear you mention this character again. The second is the largest Alzheimer's village in the world. In the village of Antioquia, in the mountains of northwestern Colombia, there are more than 5,000 people with early onset Alzheimer's disease. The large number of people with Alzheimer's disease here has led to strange cases when parents aged 70 to 80 are forced to take care of children in their 40s, 50s and 60s. This is due to inbreeding in the village over the centuries, resulting in the persistent inheritance of a defective gene that causes the so-called Paisa mutation. You wonder if there is a dead person who has been buried for 3 decades and still has his hair and nails intact. It is the following mummy that makes the scientist spend his life searching for answers. Natural mummy museums in the world. Coming to the town of San Bernardo, you will be able to admire the Natural Mummy Museum, which contains mysteries that even science cannot solve. Becoming a natural mummy in some mysterious way, without undergoing any Egyptian mummification techniques, was discovered in more than 100 bodies, excavated in the San Bernardo town cemetery since the 1960s. Many of the bodies that have been buried in the ground for more than 3 decades have retained their hair and nails. Even skin tissue and eyeballs, which were among the first decomposing parts after burial. If it is normal, after burying the body, teeth and nails have fallen out after only about 3 to 5 days. That mummy has sparked a wave of global controversy, while the locals think it's a reward when they live too good-hearted. In contrast, the scientist only believes in the real thing instead of the spiritual. The first hypothesis is that a healthy diet and lifestyle make active agriculture of the dead. But this assumption is not entirely true when a person lived for a long time in the city of Bogotá, 64.4 kilometers away, before being brought here to be buried. Therefore, the researcher turned to the reason that the temperature from the grave combined with the high position of the cemetery could be like a pan that dries the body, making cadaver indecomposable. It may also be due to the pH in the soil where the body was buried. In short, speculation is still speculation. No one has yet found the exact answer to this confusing phenomenon. What about the audience of Top 10 Mysteries? What do you think is the reason? Please comment below. Finally, there is the river, with the ability to change color faster than the speed at which you change lovers. Rainbow-colored river. Hammocks is a river located in the eastern part of the Andes, the longest mountain range in the world with 7,000 kilometers. In the rainy and dry seasons, it is a normal river with rocks and clouds of green or dull brown algae. The miracle only happens when the river water level is stable at the time of the change of season. At that time, the river will converge in all colors of blue, red, purple, cyan and black, making the river look like a rainbow strip. This unique color is created during the reproduction of aquatic plants in the river, whose scientific name is Macarenia clavigera, a species of the Podostemaceae river algae family. The geological tectonics of the Cano Cristales River also have many sediments, rocks that are 1.2 million years old. Equally brilliant but artificially is Guatapé town. This is the most colorful town in the world. From the walls, windows, stairs, and even the roofs painted in vibrant colors like rainbows throughout the neighborhood, adding funny, lovely motifs. Its most iconic feature is the paintings at the foot of the walls, a tradition that dates back about a century. According to the concept of local people, decorating the town with bright colors is their way of expressing their hopes and beliefs. In short, what makes Colombia pay the most attention is still the traditional flower festival, Feria de las Flores, one of the world's leading flower festivals. Because Colombia is the second largest supplier of fresh flowers in the world, with more than 230,000 tons of fresh flower branches exported in 2016, estimated at 1.3 billion USD. Colombia is also proud to be the country that owns the most orchid species in the world, with more than 3,500 species, of which their national flower is the queen of orchids, Cattleya. Through those colors, it is easy to understand why this is the country that is ranked as the second highest happiness score in the world at 85%. Because how can there be any country that is gloomy? Sad people are interested in painting the colors of love for life, right? And Iraq is the least happy country in the world, only 12%. To visit Colombia has concluded today's video content. Thank you to the audience of Top 10 Mysteries for supporting us all this time so that we can be motivated to produce extremely high-quality videos full of useful information. Now, goodbye and see you again in next videos. With